Hello. All right. So I am doing my week 58 check-in. And this week I was up 0.7 pounds on the scale. My average weight last Sunday, I believe, was 151.2. As of today, my average weight is 151.9. So a zero point 0.7 increase over the week. This has been a very weird week. I had a second bout of food poisoning on Monday night. I think I have figured out what the food culprit is because that's 2 times in 2 months. I also, of course, had Thanksgiving here in the US, which was really nice. And so my weight being all over the place this week is not really shocking between those 2 events. But anyway, what I have decided I'm going to do is continue to eat when hungry, stop when satisfied. I've been doing really good with that. I haven't been really overeating or feeling overly stuffed, which is good. And I think by the end of December, I'm going to establish my next 2 goalposts that I want to maintain in. So, I've talked much about having a weight range that you stay in. And up till now, I have not redefined that for myself because I really don't think I need to go back to 150 to 160. I think that's too much of a spread. When I first started, I needed that. And that goes to show that where you are now, and if you need that, do it. If you find that over the course of time of maintaining, this is going on my 9th year of maintaining, I have learned how to eat differently. I have learned obviously, I've not been tracking calories since July, so I've been really tuning in more and more to my hunger and fullness signals. So I don't think I need as big of a range as I once did to make me feel safe and comfortable and like I could make mistakes and kind of like I think of it like having those bumper pads on the bowling alley where, if your ball flows to the gutter, it bounces back. I really needed that because I was so apprehensive about maintaining. I've grown a lot in my confidence in myself. I've grown a lot in my eating changes that I've made. So I feel like I can narrow the gap a little bit for myself. And what I'm doing right now is just watching the data points. So if I go back to the middle to end of October, when I switched to maintenance, my average lowest weight thus far was 149.5. Today's weight of 151.9 is the highest it's been. So I'm going to just observe through December. I'm going to be a scientist. I am going to observe what happens through December. I'm also moving in December. So I have a lot of busyness going on this time of year. And I'm going to just see where my weight averages fall. And then I'm probably going to pick like a 3 to 5 pound window range that I'd like to stay in to be comfortable, but I haven't quite yet determined it. And I get this question a lot actually, where people say, how do I know, Heather? How do I know what a good range is for me? And a lot of it's trial and error. It's self-experimentation. It's kind of reading the data after the fact, right? So as I progress, and let's just say you're living on a certain calorie budget or a certain point budget or whatever, what you would want to do is go through several months, if not a whole year, and just really watch your data points. Where does your weight averages go? What is the lowest weight? What is the highest weight? And from there, you can kind of determine where you're falling more often. And then you can kind of create those personal barriers for yourself where you say, okay, my lowest average weight was 149.5. So if I were to say 149, hypothetically, all the way up to, if you find your highest weight is 152.5, maybe you say anywhere from 149 to 153 is your average weight that you want to hang out in. And that's basically a 4-pound spread, right? And that it can be that, or it can be where I started, where I said, I'm scared to death to maintain. I've never done it before. And I want to be very gracious with my window because I don't want to self-sabotage mentally. So I'm going to say 150 to 160. If I fall anywhere in that bracket, I'm good. And that worked for a long time for me really well. So I just want to encourage you, one, as you progress, realize things that were maybe difficult or scary may not be. You might change how you want to do things, and that's totally okay. Change is good. 2, that to figure out your goal range, if you're back at a lower weight range or you've lost weight, it might be you need to redefine it for yourself. And how do you do that? By actually tracking the data and seeing what your body does. Because there's a certain amount of influence you have, right? You can eat a certain way, you can exercise a certain way, but the daily weight fluctuations, some of that stuff is outside of your control. So really, like when we're talking about your average weight over time, there's a lot of things that factor into that you don't actually personally have any say in. So you're influencing your weight over time, but you're not like manually controlling it day to day. So that's part of what gets factored into that weight range. You know, you may find you more than likely fall at 151 to 152, but you may give yourself an extra pound one way and the other or two. So that way you've got enough room to where you don't feel anxious. And also notice I said average weight versus daily weight. So your average weight is going to be a factor of all the weights that you have for the week, not just a one-off number. So if tomorrow I weighed in at 154, I wouldn't freak out. I would just continue to eat normally, do my thing. And if it starts to bump my average up, then I might make some changes. But on a day-to-day, I don't allow that to kind of unravel me. So I hope this helps. I'm hoping by the end of December, if we get all moved and settled into our new house, that I will be able to kind of define those new weight boundaries for myself, because I'll have at least 2 solid months of data of not tracking calories and working on maintaining. If I need an extra month, I'll take it, depending on what happens with all that. But that's kind of my game plan now. I'd like to establish those new parameters for myself by the end of December. So anyway, I hope you guys had a fantastic week. If you celebrated Thanksgiving, I hope it was wonderful. I hope you did not get a hit with food poisoning like I did. And I wish you all the best through the holiday season, and keep checking in. Don't be a wallflower. Get involved in the Half Size Me community, share. Remember, we're all in this together. We're all learning together. There's nobody in the community that doesn't get what you're struggling with. We all struggle with it. You guys have a good one. I'll talk to you soon.